It's raining tacos from out of the sky. Tacos, no need to ask why. Just open your mouth and close your eyes. It's raining tacos.
What's up, everyone? Thank you for tuning in to episode 21 of the DFC podcast. I'm Audio Reborn. Today we have Krakenfall, we have No Face, and we'd like to welcome back Ronan LD. How you guys doing? What's been going on? It's been a couple weeks.
It has been a little bit of time.
Yeah,
doing all right.
So what have you guys been playing lately?
I'm first on the list. God, see, we talked about this last time, how we, actually plan things out, and then I'm the first one to up. So sorry, guys. So No Face here. Honestly, what I've been playing a lot of, and I know it's like a few years behind, is I've been playing a lot of Portal 2 co-op, which oh, is that a good O or a bad O?
No, I mean it's an old game. That's cool. I actually haven't played that before.
Well, I had never played the co-op before. I love both of the Portal games. I think they're great games, but I'd never really played the co-op, and so I've been doing that a lot lately with a friend. It's really, really fun. Like it's because it's all just puzzles and stuff like that. Yes, we're just friends.
Okay.
Can't two guys just shoot each other's portals and jump through their portals, and he puts a hole in the wall and I jump through it, right? Can't two guys do that and just be friends?
Apparently, yes.
It depends on who you're talking to.
But yes, just a friend. We play Portal. Actually, he streams it sometimes. I very rarely stream it, but it's actually a really cool game. If you've never played, or if you have Portal 2 but you've never played the co-op, it's really, really fun. It is. If you don't like cooperating though, don't play it. Like if you get frustrated at people when they can't do something, or you can't get things exactly right the first time, it's going to be awful. But I've had a lot of fun like figuring out the puzzles and working with my friend. So that's basically what I've been doing. It's been a ton of fun.
That's cool. I eventually need to play Portal co-op. What console or what platform are you playing on?
PC.
Oh, cool.
I've never played Portal. I have no idea.
Dude, you need to play Portal.
Basically, you shoot portals at things and you jump through them. It's the gist of the game.
Yeah,
So the name says it all.
Mm-hmm.
Well, there's like really witty characters and stuff. Like it's just really enjoyable.
That is also
Check
true.
that out. What about you, Kraken?
So I made the jump finally into Elder Scrolls Online. I'm a huge Elder Scrolls fan. I really love it. I get nerdy and get into the lore and stuff, but ESO was always kind of like, it's been out for like 4 years now. It was always kind of like, that's an MMO. Like, I don't know. MMOs always water down story and narrative, so I was just really afraid of what they did to it. But I had a friend kind of rope me into the free weekend, which was kind of like, I won't resist. I'll just download it and play with them. And it actually turned out to be pretty fun. I'd say like the mini quests and stuff are just narrative enough, like have enough narrative to be satisfying. It's not satisfying in a like big, I just went all around the earth and like found all these secrets and stuff, and discovered all these cool open world things that you usually do in Elder Scrolls. But I'd say there's like enough engaging story in it to like, it's the kind of game where you can like pop in, play for an hour or two, do some cool stuff, level up, and then jump out. So that's been fun.
Can I say something about that real quick? Because I actually saw that you were playing that the other day. So last week, I saw that you were playing Overwatch. And I was like, oh man, I've got some time to game, and I haven't like played with Kraken in forever. So let me like fire up the old Overwatch and get to work and, and play. And seriously, as soon as I logged into Battle.net, I get this notification. It's like, Krakenfall is now streaming Elder Scrolls Online. I was like, son of a... Like, whatever, fine, screw it. I'm going to go play Overwatch anyway without you. So
yeah, with blackjack and hookers and yeah.
Exactly.
That's a Futurama joke, not actual blackjack and hookers. Yeah, I mean, I think that night I was trying to get like Ben and his posse to play, and that kind of broke down. Or I think might have been just really tired, and I was like, I need to do something less intensive, and so I just played ESO. So you caught me in the wrong time.
No worries,
I'm willing
man.
to play Overwatch. I actually have
It
an
just-
alternate account that I've been trying to level up to play comp forever for Overwatch, and
See, you have a Smurf account. You're that guy.
it's not. No, I don't have a Smurf. I mean, I'm in Platinum on my main account, but that's like through, the auspices of everyone, like all the people I play with. Like I have only gotten that high because I've played with people. I don't think I'd get that high by myself. I cannot Smurf anything.
I mean, the game is so built around teamwork. I would imagine it's pretty hard to get up there by yourself.
Yeah. Well, Ben does. Ben is fantastic. And I hope he doesn't listen to this podcast, so his ego gets even bigger. But he's really good at that game, and I envy him. Yeah, and Overwatch, I finally got to Platinum, so I'm happy about that.
Nice. Congrats, man.
Thanks.
So back to the statement that you said earlier, Kraken, and correct me if I'm wrong. You said that MMOs water down lore and story. Is that what you said?
Sorry, could you say that again?
That MMOs water down the lore. And the story.
I find it depends on the MMO, of course. I find that in like the micro stories are always really watered down. So like you talk to someone there and like you get okay, so there's like 3 elements to it. There's like actually I don't even know if there's 3, I haven't counted. They give you a little bit to start with, like, hi, my name is this thing and I have this problem because of this. Can you go do this? It is like those 3 things that they always present in the quest, in the mini quest, and there's like nothing else. So you go solve the problem, and it might be like a multi-step thing where like you go to the you go solve the problem, and they're like, oh, also do this, and then you go solve that problem. But at the end of the chain, you're done, and they give you like an armor piece and some gold, and then you're done. Like there's nothing more than that, and that's what I mean by watered down. Like there may be an overarching story. So like you might have like a main quest you can go do, or maybe there's like big quests that you do. But like most of the time when you just go to a village, see somebody in need, and you do something, it's like there's no point in doing that. There's no actual value to that narrative. Like unless it like actually ties in a cool way with like some other person in another village. You're like, oh yeah, you helped my brother. Awesome. Well, here's, two beers on the house, and oh, by the way, we have this like ghost in one of our rooms, could you take care of that? Like that would be cool. But I never see that happening.
Do that.
I was just saying, I was just saying, because I heard that and I was like, this guy obviously has not played WoW. Because all their missions and side quests and all that stuff, it's all lore based. There's a deep story with everything.
Which one?
World of Warcraft, in general, for everything. It's just...
I've played World of Warcraft maybe 60 hours cumulatively, and I don't think I've spent enough time to see those stories. Every time I play World of Warcraft, I get kited, like people, not kited, power leveled, and that's just the most annoying, depressing experience.
It is.
So I don't like that.
I was gonna say that what you described in the MMOs that you don't like sounds vaguely reminiscent of Destiny's story and missions and so on.
We were all thinking it. Did you have to say it?
So, I mean, and I don't want to get, because we're on like just what have we been playing.
I'm not trying to sidetrack.
I don't want to get sidetracked too much, but at least with Destiny, they have like ambient in narrative. So like with Destiny 1, there was such a rich feel. I got sucked into that universe, even though the story sucked and like they didn't have time to tell us what we didn't have time to tell us. Like even though like the main mouthpieces of the story sucked, like the environment was so rich and like the lore and the grimoire, it made you feel like there was a living like universe. And so like even like that and compelling mechanics, compelling systems, raids and Crucible and like abilities and verticality, like all that too.
Things
but
we
like
all miss.
The narrative was so rich that that did it for me. I like narrative, even if it's just things that you look at and like the cracks of the game, I should say, or the corners of the game.
I don't mean to digress or go on a tangent, but speaking of
We
lore,
can't digress if we haven't gone anywhere.
well, speaking of lore, just really quick, apparently, like in, I don't know, like some videos and some tweets that I've been reading, there was some issues or some drama in the lore community or people who do lore for Destiny, because apparently a lot of Destiny 2 invalidates Destiny 1 lore with how it's presented, especially that comic. Apparently there are a lot of things that happened in that comic that basically erased or outright made Destiny 1 lore irrelevant. And apparently
you
like
just
Destiny
want me upset.
Sorry.
You just want me to be upset because I could rant on this for hours.
So you've heard, okay, never mind. I'm sorry, but yeah, and I guess there was a whole folklore lore hashtag from a developer saying, "Oh, that's just folklore," and people were very angry about their response. Anyway,
but without going into like the stuff we're passionate about, that hopefully to avoid No Face's rant, there was the new lore director for Destiny 2, like. Basically, I think Joseph Staten? No. Who's the person that left last time? Like
that was
midway
Staten
through
that left before Destiny 1.
1 was finished, yeah. So the person that came in for Destiny 2 like has been retconning a ton of stuff. And it's
Margaret
really stupid.
Stoll, for everyone who, needs the name Margaret Stoll.
Thank you,
Yes,
No Face. Margaret Stoll has been
tweet.
retconning stuff, and that is like the worst thing to do to destabilize like an established universe, and a lot of people are really upset about that. And I would say that I'm just more annoyed, disappointed, and I'm trying to ignore it as best I can. So let's continue.
Sorry.
So Ronan, what have you been playing?
Oh, well, funnily enough, we talked about it last time. I'm playing Monster Hunter World, and Kraken, I'm sorry. I feel like I've let you down by not getting you more into it. And
you let me down.
Well, you said, hey, hit me up when you're playing, and I've been trying to. There's an event going on in Monster Hunter for this past 2 weeks.
Oh wow!
And I'm trying to get to level 50 to fight this really hard boss. And so that's what I've been focusing on. And the funny thing is, I've been playing Monster Hunter on my Xbox and also my PS4. And it's that's crazy. Cool. It's
if it's that fun for you, that's great.
It has been, and you would think that I would get tired or whatever, but I don't know what is. Like, I've been using the time to try different weapons on different systems. So, and changing weapons is almost like an entirely new experience, because movement is totally different, your attacks totally different, how you deal with monster attacks. It's been fun. And I've enjoyed it. And then on Xbox, I'm playing a lot of, tacos that I play Destiny with. The same guys that I raid with every Tuesday nights. And usually we try to do a raid on Sunday nights too. And we've still done that at this point. So
that's cool.
Destiny, we're still doing our Destiny 2 raids. Although we want to do Prestige, we haven't yet, because, either people are sick or we started late or whatever. But Monster Hunter World, I want to get you cracking an audio into it, because it is, and I know the UI sucks. I know it does.
Yeah, I was like, it's going to take a lot for me to get back in that game.
Well,
yeah.
So, if I can just say, I have not given up on Monster Hunter World. I just am not going to play it right now.
That's fine.
It's the kind of game that you have to try to like, at least from my perspective and my not sensibilities, but like tastes. And it's just it's annoying, and it annoyed me from the outset. And for me to get into it, I'm gonna have to put in some effort, and I'm gonna need some friends, because when I played with you, that was the most fun I had. And every time I tried to play by myself, it was just like, I'm just stepping on Legos here. Like, this is so annoying to play.
That's really horrible. Like stepping on Legos in bare feet. That's like terrible.
Yeah.
Can confirm.
It is.
Yeah.
Yes.
So
I can.
I'm not going to sell the game like I did Division. I will play it again. I'm playing ESO. I'm playing Overwatch. I've got stuff to play. Oh, Skyrim VR just came out, and I'm actually pretty stoked about that.
Nice. Well,
But,
like, if you ever see, because I know, like, I've been playing with Looter and Odd, and we've I feel like every night so far we've played till like 1 in the morning.
Oh,
and
geez.
I've had to get up at 6 the next day to go to work. And
That is dedication.
it's, you know what it is? It's fun. It's we're playing and I don't realize how long we've been playing. So anyway, that's what I've been playing. Audio.
I'm still playing Zelda Breath of the Wild.
Oh, cool.
Yeah.
No fair.
Really, really into that game right now. I don't really get to play it throughout the week, but on the weekends, that's like mainly what I've been up to.
Do you play on the toilet or do you play on the TV?
That depends on the day. I actually play Zelda strictly handheld because the frame rate doesn't stutter, so it just looks better for me. I don't really put it on the dock that much.
I'm eventually going to get a Switch, and Zelda will be one of the first games I buy.
I'm going to continue
don't-
to say that I'm going to get a Switch, but I probably never will.
It is.
So like, I wrote it. I'm sorry, Craig. Go ahead, man.
Oh, I was just going to say it is 100% worth the purchase. Like, I bought a Switch just for Legend of Zelda. I've played other games. It's great. I've got more value out of it. But, like, I would totally, after having experienced it, I would have totally just bought a Switch for Breath of the Wild. It's great.
Yeah. And like you, Ronan, you said you wanted to buy a Switch, and then the first thing you get is Zelda Breath of the Wild. I was like that too. And then after about 2 weeks, I got home from work, and there was a bag on my desk from my wife, and it had 3 other fucking games in it. And I was like, because I'm the type of guy, it's like, if I'm playing something, like I got to be playing that, because if I start playing other stuff, then I'll get distracted. So, love my wife to death. I appreciate it, but I really wanted to just play Zelda, but, you know.
Which you can. I mean,
I
just
can.
put those under the bed until you're ready.
Yeah.
And it has DLC,
But
which
yeah.
I'm surprised and excited
Yeah,
about.
I just read about that a couple of days ago. I had no idea it had DLC. So
I have played
That's
through all of it, and it's pretty good. I would say maybe not worth as much as they charge for it, but if you buy the season pass, then it is.
that what was it, like $20?
I think so, something like that.
All right. So, anybody else got anything else to say before we go on?
Oh, actually, there is one thing. I thought I haven't been playing as much games lately, and that's because I've actually been learning Python, and it's been amazing, and I love it, and I've been spending a lot of my free time like coding, and so
Really?
it's been awesome. Oh, I love Python. Like I never
That's
thought I
cool.
could love a language like I love Python.
It's funny you say that because I'm actually learning how to code as well, like right now.
Yeah, well, so I've done some like coding before. Like I've learned, like I know SQL and PHP and things like that, a lot of web-based languages. And part of it, I've always hated them. I have always absolutely hated them. And part of it was because I've always had to learn them to fix things other people have broken. So that sucks. And also, those languages just suck. Like those languages are terrible compared to Python. Python is awesome.
I know.
I really, really enjoy
I know
it.
several people that would fight you over SQL, but yeah, PHP sucks. Don't use PHP.
Yeah, PHP is terrible. But SQL, I can kind of, I'll accept that as like a usable language. But man, Python is still way better.
That's cool.
That's all I got. Sorry. Totally complete and total tangent.
So, it's been a couple weeks since, we've had an episode, and so I figured, we could just kind of bullet point real quick. So we've had a few updates in Destiny 2 recently, or 1, and that was the Go Fast update. I personally haven't had too much experience with it, but I did notice a difference in movement speed, and I played a little bit of PvP, and it seems to be okay. But have you guys had any chance to really play around with it?
I have not.
Ronan.
I've only done PvE, I like the update. I feel that they didn't go far enough. Like it still feels like they're being conservative in a lot of instances. Like the movement ability. Wait, what are the three? There's recovery, resilience, and mobility. Mobility doesn't actually increase your sprint speed. And
Nope.
I'm just like, it's supposed to be go fast, and yes, our jumps have higher burst and stuff, and it gives the impression of being faster, but it doesn't feel like we're truly going fast, I guess. I don't know. It's just kind of what I've from my playing, what I've been thinking. Man, I wish I could go faster still.
Yeah, and I completely agree with that. I agree it's completely a step in the right direction, but it was definitely overhyped. It's not the go fast update, it's the strafe fast and kind of jump higher update is what it was. Like, it's not a go fast update. So it was just overhyped in my opinion.
Well, unless you have a PC and can remap your controls so you can kind of glitch the system to Titan skate super fast.
Is that what it was?
Yes.
Yeah, but you've got to
stupid.
remap it, and you're only useful like in a straight line.
Straight line.
You can't
Straight
turn.
But
Yeah, I've seen a lot of videos where people, they're just going so fast with like a Dawn Blade, they end up just killing themselves.
Well, now I'm kind of pissed. Even though, so I didn't even bother to log in because I'm like, I don't know. Not that I knew anything or like have some kind of sense about it. Like, I didn't think that it was worth it. I knew that they didn't change the weapon slots, which apparently they've, like, on Twitter, they're like, oh, we're working on something. We're working on a weapon system change, but like, whatever. Like, I don't care if you're working on it, bring it out. But like, so they didn't do that. I didn't even care to log in. If they've reduced the time to kill, then that's just another, like, a shittier, faster system.
they haven't.
So,
They didn't reduce it.
They didn't reduce the time to kill.
I thought Vigilant Swing kills in 2 bursts.
Because there was also a sandbox update.
Yeah.
Weapons got buffed as well.
Yes,
Instead of,
but not
do you remember
completely
in
in Crucible.
D1? Well, I was just saying, like, the pulse rifles got a pretty large buff.
Well, yeah, and then there's the...
And
Sorry, go ahead.
no, I'm just saying, Vigilance Wing, it already hit hard as well because it's a slow rate of fire, a heavy hit. So with the pulse rifle update, it just made it more deadly.
Yeah.
That's all.
Well, and they wanted to solve the problem, like pseudo-solve the problem of the specials from Destiny 1 being in the heavy slot, so they just gave everyone more heavy, and that's not a better solution because everyone is just going to use the best heavy, which is rocket launchers.
Rockets, yeah.
So that, I mean, it's like that right there is like they're stunting their own update, and I'm gonna sort of bring my argument to a close because I am getting saltier and saltier because like
I can hear it in your voice.
Well, let me say this. Like, I think that the only way that they're going to solve a lot of these issues is by balancing between PvP and PvE, because a lot of these things is balanced between the two systems, and that creates, I think, these what feel like half measures, both for PvE and for PvP. They're trying to balance it, and they can't get too crazy because it's balanced, which isn't
not balanced.
Fun.
It's balanced theoretically,
You
but it's
couldn't
not
see the
balanced
air quotes that he did with there.
Oh, okay, sorry. I would disagree with that, Ronan, and not like nothing against your argument. I just think that it was balanced better in Destiny 1. And so, like, a point to that is, like, you don't use SMGs in PvE. You just don't, right? There's, like, how many weapon classes do you actually... Do you?
Well, so this update also increased the damage across the board.
Yeah.
So technically the best weapons are still going to be the best weapons because everything got increased, so nothing changed, really. However, in the raid... We've been messing around. Like, you can now use different weapons and be viable. However, on Prestige, you still kind of end up going towards like the mainstays, Better Devils, the Midnight Scout, the Positive Outlook, those mainstay weapons. But like I went into the and the perks feel like they've changed a little bit too. I went in through one of the raids and I was doing double hand cannons. I had the True Prophecy with Masterwork with reload. I had a reload on my gauntlets. I had the Fitting Aspect, and that thing reloaded so fast. And I also had the IM set IC4 Dragonfly hand cannon, also Masterwork for reload, and it was fun. I'm shooting these red bars and yellow bars and just reloading, switching, reloading. I also ran with SMGs, and that was fun. Unless we're trying to shoot far away, then we couldn't hit shit.
Right.
But it more weapons you can use, maybe like in the lower brackets.
Yeah.
But it was fun. And it does seem like the ads are dying a little faster. So I mean, yeah, like No Face said, it is a step, and this change has allowed us to use the linear fusions are actually good if you can hit a headshot. Snipers still aren't quite there yet.
Yeah,
but I'm using more weapons. Like I think I'm supposed to do some Nightfall strikes tonight, and I'm going double hand cannons because it was fun. So
I think my main point is that Destiny 2, like Destiny 1, we had such a plethora of options. And what they did to Destiny 2 is the equivalent of taking a deck of cards and removing 3 suits. So you just have 1 suit, right? How many games can you play with 1 suit of cards? 1 to 10, and then the royalties suite. Like not a lot, right? I mean, you can play some games. You could play some like counting games or something like that. But like what you really need is the rest of the deck. And then you can have all these combinations. You can have like different types of games. You can do like rummy. You can do cribbage. You can do spades and hearts. Give us those suits back. But I would say this update sounds, because I haven't played it, it sounds like they've added like maybe half another suit. So you can do some stuff, but they're kidding themselves. Like it's like the good people, the good designers at Bungie left, and now we have people that don't know what they're doing behind the helm, and that really makes me sad. So
before you get too depressed here, Kraken, I'm going to go ahead and move us on here. Because again, like I'm just going to reiterate, it is a step in the right direction. I agree with you. Yeah. I think most people do agree with you that yes, the game does still feel somewhat bland. It's better than it was, but it's not as awesome as it could be. But it is a step in the right direction. And so like the last couple of things we wanted to say about like Bungie and Destiny 2 before we got on to interesting things.
Yeah, thanks.
Is
No
that
Face.
they did what was that?
I said thank you. No Face is like in the huddle before we start the podcast. He's like, okay, guys, we just can't rant about Destiny 2 too much, okay? So
well, I don't want to like that's for our own personal mental health. Like that's what that's about. But so yeah, the last thing we were gonna say about like Bungie really is that they have announced that the next DLC, which I know probably most people have already paid for, is going to be called Warmind. It's going to be released on May 8th, and they're going to have a reveal stream on the 24th. Now, they haven't released a ton of details about what all like quality of life things are going to be in there, but hopefully, again, this will be another step in the right direction coming May 8th, and hopefully it is not like Curse of Osiris Part 2, The Letdown. So
right, and I'll go ahead and give my 2 cents on the DLC, though. I have a feeling that Bungie has learned a lesson a little bit. So I feel like it'll be better than Curse of Osiris, but it's still going to be kind of meh, like, you know what I'm saying? Like I think they're really like saving all the best stuff for the large September update.
Yeah.
As far as like quality of life things go.
So it's like Destiny Year One all over again, right? The first DLC was like Dark Below, Curse of Osiris. Second DLC, House of Wolves, it was fun, but it was a placeholder. Same with this one. And then Taken King expansion released in September, or whatever they're going to call it now.
Yeah, it's the Taken Queen. It's
Taken
7th
Queen?
right?
Is that what they're calling it? Yeah.
Yeah.
And that one we have to pay for, probably $30. Was it $30 or $40? I forget.
For Taken King,
Yeah.
that was 40.
40.
That's
yeah.
right. Rise of Iron was 30.
Yeah. I won't be watching the stream or playing it. I already bought it because I have the season pass. Ouch. I won't be playing it. I won't even be paying attention to it.
Yeah, I kind of want to be surprised. I think at this point,
We'll see.
the hype is too strong. I'm
Not
afraid
anymore, man. I think that's kind of died. The hype train is derailed.
Yeah.
Well-
and like when they, when they announce something like this, they kind of make a big deal about it. But they're just kind of like, oh, hey, look, May 8th, new DLC, boom, there you go. Like that was it. They didn't how they they'll make like a whole post about it and this, that, and the other. But no, just kind of like, here you go. So,
Kraken, I did like your analogy of the deck of cards and Destiny 2. That was excellent. That was great. And I see your point about the balancing. I think maybe being a PvE guy, that's how it feels like to me. Although the way you say it, I think is a better representation of
Well, and
where
I think
things are at.
like the PvE is just like a couple of the games that you can play with the deck of cards, right? So like they may have improved it for PvE, which is great. I think where the core player base that's left right now is mostly PvE. I could be wrong about that. That's my guess.
Yeah, I have no
but
idea.
There was PvP, there was PvP casual, there was PvP Rumble. Like there were different communities in PvP that are dead. There's like no really getting around that. So.
well, with the latest update, we now have Rumble, which is, I think it's a rotated playlist. Last week or the week before when it came out, it was 8-player Rumble. And apparently it was really bad because the spawns were really off. And I mean, apparently it was just a big like shit show. So they changed it and now it's 6 players. And it looks like the Rumble Pony community is trying to come back. So
yeah,
we'll see.
I definitely have heard it because I follow a bunch of streamers to find out, I just want to keep tabs on them and whatever else they're doing, like Datto and Lupo and Slayerage. Like a lot of them have, like, Lupo's huge into Fortnite now, and like they've made their own paths. I see the people that are still in Destiny trying to champion anything from Destiny because I wonder if like they still haven't transitioned off of Destiny as their main platform. It's like it's really their marketing for their own good. Not that that's like a negative thing. Like they need to do what they need to do.
Well,
I think they're hoping it'll be better than, better so that people will come back. But
like I've noticed that streamers that hadn't been streaming Destiny in a long while, I've seen a lot of them this week streaming Destiny 2.
They're grinding out the Nightfalls.
The Nightfall for that hand cannon, which I want to do tonight. I try to get that hand cannon. But again, the hand cannon looks great. I think it's good for PvP. I'm just gonna get it because it's something to do. But maybe kind of continuing on what we're talking about with the update, the September update with the weapon slot changes, with the gear collections, and with the randomized rolls.
yeah, I'll be interested to see what happens with that. Given their track record so far handling Destiny 2, I'm not really going to put any stock into that. I will probably try it out then. Like there's in the Bungie roadmap update, they have like 3 updates in between now and the September update. So I probably won't try out any of those. I'll probably wait till September to try it out, and maybe it'll be fun again. But
all the maps, you're getting all the maps for PvP.
Yeah, they did announce
update.
that. That's good. I mean, that's par for the course. That's something they never should have done. But yeah, cool.
I'm excited, but again, I'm kind of nervous too because like, what do they mean by weapon randomization?
I don't think they're going to do anything crazy. I think they've already cut it back so much. They are super
that's what I'm
conservative, like
thinking.
you've said. I think they're probably going to do like one slot,
like taking
or
King
they're going
or
to keep.
King.
I
Like
think it's
King's
going to
Fall,
be like
the King's Fall raid weapons.
Yeah, or I'm thinking like the Masterworks system. Like they're going to have an element of randomization where you grind a bunch of stuff and then you use those materials that you gain to roll something. Like
Yeah, like
if they
like have one perk with maybe 4 options. That's randomization.
Or it could just be like a different version of re-rolling weapons again.
yeah, maybe.
No Face, what do you think about the September update at least?
So what I'm thinking is that, in all honesty, it will be the first DLC that I do not pre-order and play the very first day. I will wait a little bit and see. And if it's good, I'll buy it and I'll play it and I'll love it. If it's not good, I will wait 6 months for it to go on sale and then I'll buy it and I'll play it and I'll enjoy it for like the 10 hours and then never play it again. That's kind of what I feel.
That's a good point.
But in typical podcast fashion, we have gone wildly off topic and we have depressed ourselves.
No Face's
So
podcast mom today, this week.
Yeah, it's fine. I just y'all make my heart sad. So and I don't need that right now.
I did not expect
so-
to talk about this much heartache.
Yeah, and that was one of the things. Kraken's like, I don't really want to talk about Destiny, and then like 30 minutes later, so Destiny. But so one of the things we were going to talk about is just kind of random crap. We had actually talked about our jobs and things like that, or we had talked about talking about jobs, and so today we actually were going to kind of tell about our first jobs. And actually one of the things that kind of, I'm throwing this in there at the last minute, I honestly don't know what y'all do like for your current jobs. I know that like Krakenfall works for the state kind of, and that's about the extent of I know what he does, and it's like some sort of like IT nerd job as far as I know. But like, so I'm kind of curious, what was y'all's first job and what do you do now, and are they related in any way, shape, or form? So
Okay.
let's hear from Audio first.
All right. So this was in, I don't know what year it was. But I just turned 16 and I got my first job working at a restaurant called Dairy Queen.
Nice.
Do you guys know what Dairy Queen is?
It's a Texas stop sign.
It's a cow with a crown.
Yeah. So
No, that's
no.
Burger King.
that's Burger. That's
Oh,
not even
no.
like,
Nice.
Yeah,
Face.
no. Dairy Queen.
Yeah, okay.
I don't know if you guys have Dairy Queen where you live, but it's just a regular restaurant. They have all kinds of. But basically, I just worked in the back, like in the kitchen. I worked there for about 2 weeks, and then my job currently, I just work at Walmart in online grocery.
Oh, do you really?
Yeah.
I did not know that.
Yep. I worked that 5 to 2 shift. Yep.
Wait, so you work overnight?
5 a.m. to 2.
Oh, okay.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I get up early. So
Okay.
Dang.
Gotcha.
Do you ever get like super weird orders? Wait, you said online grocery, so it's mostly food, right?
yeah. Well, yeah, they order their groceries online, and we just like get the orders together, and they come pick them up. But we have people that order like a lot. Like we have like regulars, they order a lot of the same stuff, but it's like a lot of the same stuff.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
That is so fancy. Like I know that's been a thing. Like online groceries has been a thing for like probably almost a decade now, but I just never have done that. It helps to not be in a huge city, so it's not like it's really that available. I do have
the area that I live in is heavily populated, so it gets pretty busy.
Yeah. Maybe one day for me. Just not. I don't know. That's weird.
It's at first people were like, I don't know how I feel about it because like, you know, no, we do like dry grocery, you know, and then we do produce and we also do dairy as well. But people think like, oh, they don't know how to pick this or they don't know how to pick the right produce. I mean, you'd be surprised. Like we have like a whole guide of like how we're supposed to pick out everything, like what to look for, what not to look for, you know. So it's not just like your run of the mill, like, so, grab it and then you just get
right.
Yeah,
what's
you know?
a ripe watermelon and how unripe should the avocados be and all that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
Oh, that's cool. I didn't know it was that fancy. That's cool.
Yep. Nothing to brag about. But yeah, that's where my wife and I both work at Walmart. But she's a manager at night. Yeah, she's actually at work right now. But what about you, No Face? What is your first job?
So my first job, so I grew up in a very rural area. So my first job was really being like a ranch hand for all like the local farms and my family and things like that. And that was like when I was like 4 or whatever. But the first job that I actually was, you know, like got a paycheck and like the IRS knew about and things like that was I worked at O'Reilly Auto Parts.
Oh,
So
cool.
when I was,
I was at
awesome.
one today.
Oh, were you really?
Yeah.
Oh, I'm sorry. That means something broke probably.
Yep.
Oh yeah, I saw that picture you posted. What was that?
That was a gasket on a catalytic converter. Like the gasket broke, and so it was letting in oxygen, and the O2 sensors were going off the chain.
You just cut all that exhaust off. You don't need it.
Yeah.
It's totally how it works. You know, the environment won't hate you. But
I would be
But no,
so
so-
illegal if I lived in California right now.
right. God, everything I had would fail in California. Anyway, but yeah, so I got a job at O'Reilly Auto Parts when I was 16, and which the job was, I mean, it was auto parts. I like found parts for people and sold them to them. There was nothing special. But what was kind of cool was how the job kind of ended. So first off, all my friends, like we were all into cars. Like that's what we did. And so my last day working there, because I could get stuff basically at cost, I literally had the entire back of my truck filled up with stuff. I mean, like had to tie stuff down in my truck because like just cases of oil and like parts and intake and like grease and all sorts of stuff. Because I just took for weeks because I knew I was quitting for weeks. I was taking orders from all my friends. And so we just got all this stuff like, you know, the entire bed of my pickup filled up with parts for like $500 or something like that. And so that was awesome. That was cool. Last day driving out with just like, you know, a truckload of stuff. Then 2 days after I quit, everyone or virtually everyone who worked there got arrested because apparently they were using the store as a front for drugs. So they were dealing drugs
gosh.
out of the O'Reillys.
What?
And so the
And you're like
cops
one of the
raided
only ones
O'Reillys.
not involved.
Yeah, I didn't know. It was like me and like 2 other guys, like the part-time guys that had no clue what was going on. But yeah, like the cops raided the O'Reillys and like arrested the manager and all sorts of stuff. And yeah, so I worked at an O'Reilly's that was pushing drugs. It was awesome.
I'm sorry.
That's
really
so
funny.
crazy.
I told you my first job was cool.
Every time I drive by O'Reilly's, that's what I'm going to think about. But like, is that a drug front? Like,
Wow, that's really lucky.
yeah.
So what do you do now?
Ronan.
Sorry. That's actually
I'm skipping turn.
yeah. So what I do now, I'm actually I'm a wedding photographer, but it's kind of one of those things where I don't quite make enough money to really live comfortably, and I would have to move to like a major city to really kind of get over that hump. And so I'm actually starting an IT job here in a couple of weeks.
Oh, cool. What IT job?
It's for a telecommunications company. So basically it's network, like they do a lot of government contracting with like satellite internet. And so basically I'm going to monitor internet all day, every day.
Oh,
And it's going to be, it's
security,
it's going to be great.
like a logarithm or something like that. Tripwire.
Yeah, like-
and-
Yeah, they couldn't tell me the like specifics of it until I actually start the job, and so like I'll go through a couple weeks of training, and then I'll stare at a computer screen all day, waiting for something bad to happen.
Well, I know people that would like they love doing that, so I'm not going to say like, oh, it's a terrible job. I personally would hate doing that, so good luck.
I don't know if I'll hate it yet. Like, I really feel like I'm gonna have to do it a little bit because like I've never done anything like this, so I don't know. Maybe I'll love it. Hopefully, I'll love it, but who knows?
If it's in private sector, it should be well structured enough that it's engaging at least enough, and you have enough of like freedom to like improve on the job if you're bored. So
Says the guy who works for the government.
I could rant about that all day long, but I don't want to do that.
Fair enough. So, Ronan, what about you?
My first job was working at a Blockbuster, actually, before they went out of business.
Hey.
And hey, it was fun. I got to see a lot of movies, and it was very, it wasn't like it was a laid back job. I remember for 4th of July, the manager let me and a coworker climb on top of the roof to watch fireworks from the roof of our building.
Nice.
And it was great. I mean, yeah. Quick segue off of Audio's Dairy Queen story. In college, I once walked in a blizzard to a Dairy Queen because they were having a sale on blizzards that day for $1 because there was a blizzard going on, and it was delicious. I was frozen, but it was delicious.
Dairy Queen's great.
It was delicious.
Love it. It's so good. I like how they test their blizzards. They just like turn them upside down. You know,
It's awesome. And what I do now, I work for a school district, so I guess it is like a state, or at least a state job. I'm in the IT department, doing database management, basically.
Okay.
So it's fun. I do a lot of SQL.
Yeah,
We
that's what I was about to say.
Yeah, I mean, but it's I don't know. I have no problem with it. We use the MS SQL. We use their SSRS. To write
Reports and stuff.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So it's nice, and I like it because we definitely, I feel like we definitely have a more, I don't know, forward thinking, but we are trying to do a lot more technology stuff in the classroom, trying to innovate more with the teachers, make their jobs easier with more automation stuff. So it's enjoyable. I'm having, so far it's good.
Well, cool.
But yeah. Kraken, what do you do?
Well, for my first job, I guess it would depend on whether we're talking about like legit job or just first job.
Your panhandling jobs don't count.
Oh, ha ha ha. No, I worked for I think before I turned 18, I worked for I know. Before I turned 18, I worked for this old couple who had some, I wouldn't say they had a lot of land, but they'd been on it for several decades. And so they were in super retirement. And they had a lot of this huge garden on two sides of this road where they lived. And then it's, if you know Puget Sound in Washington, it's, I don't know. They had a house that was overlooking the Puget Sound, so it was on the top of this bluff, this ledge. So you drive up to the front of the house, it looks normal, but then you go to the back, there's this big giant stairway down to the beach, this rocky Washington beach, and they had stuff all from the beach all the way up to the house, and then they had a front garden, a back garden, and then a garden across the street. And they hired my brother, and my brother passed it on to me once he hit high school. And so I was just this handyman. I'd fix gutters. I'd repatch part of the roof. I'd trim do seasonal preparations on pruning trees and cutting back flowers and stuff like that, for winter and all that crap. It was actually extremely relaxing, and I would totally do that as a retirement job.
That actually does sound pretty cool.
Yeah. Well, and it was I spray painted their deck, or not spray painted, but painted their deck almost every
They
year.
asked you to though, right?
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, they had me do everything.
I totally graffitied their place, man.
No, like weatherize their deck like almost every year, and no, I just learned a lot about like plant care, and I've always liked the outdoors and gardening and stuff like that. So it was really, really cool. Really enjoyed that. As for my job now, I am a developer that focuses on DevOps, which is kind of I don't know how much I should go into this, but DevOps is like a new thing in software development. It's basically, I don't know, common sense. And like there's been a lot of new technologies that have come out that like automate a lot of things, and it's kind of like a counter movement against the old like IBM, or like the old, not IBM specifically, but just like the old Microsoft companies, like where you go to a office job and there's like 100 cubicles and it's like soul sucking, and like people do this, TP40s and like reports, and like there's so much you can automate, so much you can bring out and like speed up development, and you can really ensure that software is super, like, because bugs come out like in games and stuff like that. You can prevent so much of that stuff with automation, and DevOps is kind of using the industry, like modern tools, to do that. And I took a job with the Washington state government at employment security, and sort of. So DevOps is what I do, and that's what I've been doing at the state. It's kind of like, I don't know. My comment earlier is sort of sums it up, because like the state is so old, and they use like VB apps, Visual Basic apps, which if you don't know what that is, it's like a 90s crappy language, like software language. And yeah, there's a lot of things that they do. So I've just gotten in there and torn everything up and got everything automated, and got the whole like developer life cycle automated. And
so really, the state of Washington, everyone in Washington really owes you a debt of gratitude. Is what
I don't know about that. I mean,
I'm not from Washington. I've never been to Washington. I still feel like I should thank you for doing that.
I've never thought about it that, because it is public service.
Exactly.
That's what's keeping me right now, because I just joined this new project. They created a position for me in this new project for the paid family medical leave thing, which is like maternity leave and paternity leave, and like if you're injured, like if your family's injured and you need to take care of them, you can actually, there's going to be this new program that you can apply or make a claim for and actually get paid, kind of like unemployment. So if you lose a job, then you get unemployment. Well, it's the same kind of thing. So that's really cool. It's like being watched nationwide, because it's being done in a completely new way. There's only 5 paid family medical leave programs in the nation, and so we have like people from Washington D.C. coming over and like looking at how we're doing it, and I don't know, it's kind of exciting. At the same time, like, it's the state, so they're trying to do things bad. I'm like, no, stop doing things bad. I don't know.
But then it wouldn't be government.
That is a whole other topic for later.
Yep.
That's a different podcast.
I will say your TP40 comment made me want a cup of coffee now, so I can so I can sip it while we're talking.
So I've introduced Slack to my office, and if you don't know what Slack is, it's kind of like Discord. It's this like collaboration tool where you have a bunch of channels where you can chat in, and they have custom emojis. And I added a red stapler emoji.
Someone, air quotes.
No, I forgot. There's a couple of custom ones that I didn't add. but I added red stapler. So occasionally we can respond with red stapler to things that make us mad.
You should add a baseball bat and a printer.
That is perfect. That is perfect. I didn't think of that.
I have no idea what you guys are
This
talking
is
about.
Office Space.
What? Audio.
I mean, I know about Office
Go down
Space.
to your
I'm talking
local
about like what you.
Blockbuster and rent
No,
yourself
I have
Office Space.
No. I know what Office Space is. I'm talking about like what you guys do for a living,
Oh, I
like
see.
all this tech stuff. I'm just like, okay, yeah. I'm like, oh, that thing, yeah, that's cool. Like, no, I don't.
Ones and zeros, right? Ones and zeros.
I don't. Yeah, I don't. All right, so you guys ready for plugs?
Let's plug.
Let's plug. All right, so yeah, let's plug.
What?
No,
Did I not use that verb correctly?
Can we sound clip that?
No,
Can we sound clip that? Let's
you're
plug. Like
you're like, okay, you guys ready for plugs? That's like that's what she said.
yeah, that's exactly. Thank you. that was actually my first job, butt plug test.
This is why I flag things as a
So Saints 14th project.
Yeah,
We've
so
just been
May
kicked off of
19th.
it.
Well, you know, but yeah, so May 19th is the Saint 14 stream, charity stream. We go on at 6 Central. No. Shit, I forgot what time we go on.
Yes, that's
I
correct.
think it's 6 EST or 5 CST or is it what I said before?
Am I talking to Krakenfall? Can't do time zones here?
So next
Yeah.
podcast, we'll tell you what time we're going to be on the Saint 14 stream.
Yeah, so that's May 19th. Also, so I don't think I've
It's
talked
6
about
p.m.
this.
Eastern. I just confirmed.
Yeah, so 6 p.m. EST, 5 Central, and whatever it is for Pacific. But yes, I know. Yeah, so I don't know if I've talked about this, but I am actually going to be on the Saint 14 podcast next week. We're recording on Tuesdays, and I think it comes out on Fridays, and it's on Podbean and iTunes.
Sweet.
So if you guys don't check that episode out, then you could check out their previous 3, I believe. They're really good. Some pretty good topics. So just check them out on iTunes and Podbean. And also, if you guys want to get a hold of us, we're on Twitter, Facebook, and Instagram sometimes. And all of them are at DFC Pod. So, and you can email us at DeltaCo@gmail.com if you have any questions or concerns.
Or suggestions. Or if you want to be on the
Or
podcast.
suggest-
If you want to be on the podcast,
Well,
let
yeah.
us know. We'd be happy to have you on.
Yeah, we'll take anybody now.
We'll
Yeah.
take it.
All right. So that's been episode 21 of the DFC podcast. I'd like to thank you all for listening, and hope you have a great day. Peace.
It's raining tacos.